June 2010. Luxembourg cyclist Kim Kirchen suffered a heart attack after a stage of the Tour of Switzerland and quit professional cycling. April 2018. Belgian cyclist Michael Goulartz suffers a cardiac arrest in the middle of Paris Roubaix at the age of just 23 and leaves us a few hours later. March 18, 2022. Belgian cyclist Cedric Bakeland feels unwell in his hotel room while preparing for his season in Spain and sadly ends up leaving us at just 28 years of age. Just 3 days later, 6th ranked Sonny Colbrelli, 6th in the UCI rankings, collapses after finishing 2nd in the first stage of the Volta Catalunya and needs medical intervention to save his life. Fortunately, the Italian Bahrain Victorious rider is in stable condition. Do you want to know how he miraculously saved his life? Without any further ado, let the show begin. We're not going to dwell too much on Sonny Colbrelli's sporting career, since we've already made a video previously on his work and miracles of the 2021 season, where he went from 2 seasons at a declining level to become one of the best cyclists in the world at the age of 31, an age at which his contemporaries Tom Dumoulin, Nairo Quintana and Fabio Aru, to mention just some of the most successful, are now in very low form or even retired. The big conclusion we got from that video is that the performance improvement of Milan Erzin's Bahrain was, in part, caused by tizanidine, a substance that appears in a hair sample of the Italian cyclist in the Tour de France, and that causes muscle relaxation that makes the athlete suffer less pain in the legs the more it intensifies. Is this substance related to the cardiac arrest suffered by Colbrelli? The answer is negative. At no time does tizanidine cause cardiac conditions, not even as a side effect. However, many people have wanted to link this problem of Sonny Colbrelli with doping in a direct way. A big mistake, but fortunately there is Uncle Cycling Stories to inform you. Of course, doping in an uncontrolled manner and with certain types of substances, such as amphetamines in the purest Philip Gaumont style, or self-medicated EPO, as some riders did in the Netherlands in the late 1980s and 90s, is really dangerous and can cause serious heart failure. This is not the case in cycling today, where doctors have a very good grip on the health of the athletes as they inject them with the vitamins and prescribe the clear water and the fast coffee that they need to perform at the highest level. It would be completely irresponsible to think that the doctors of Bahrain Victorious, or even those close to Colbrelli's entourage, would dope like a tobacco plantation the very same European cycling champion to the point of taking him almost to the grave. If this were to happen, they could go to prison and be banned for life from medical practice. Absurd. Other even more controversial sectors have linked Colbrelli's heart failure to the COVID-19 vaccine. We know that there are many people who are fans of this type of conspiracy all around the world, and they've not been slow to relate this incident with another one of the vaccinated Spanish tennis player Rafael Nadal, in which he also suffered a collapse in an official match and on the same day. As we told you at the beginning of the video, riders like Kirchen or even elite footballers suffered cardiac arrests at the highest level of competition. This was before any COVID-19 vaccine. This hypothesis became relevant when some people reported that Colbrelli suffered from COVID earlier in the year and had abandoned Paris-Nice because of bronchitis. The North Italian cyclist, like most of the peloton in that competition, suffered a flu that worsened but had nothing to do with coronavirus. Because of this problem, he could not compete in the Milan-San Remo, where he would have gone as leader of his team, and where, curiously, 2 days before his fainting, Matej Mohoric got a spectacular victory. Moreover, according to the International Olympic Committee itself, the number of myocarditis cases in top athletes after the vaccination period is practically identical to the period before, and they assure us that it is exactly being vaccinated that reduces the risk of suffering any type of arrhythmia in sports practice. Could this flu, or even the COVID at the beginning of the year, be one of the causes of Colbrelli's situation? Well, perfectly, since any viral infection can cause them, but certainly getting vaccinated has not increased the chances of suffering from it. In fact, it was the doctors of the Volta Catalunya themselves who saved the Italian champion's life, and the big difference between why this man is with us today and why others were not so fortunate. As soon as he collapsed, the doctors performed the relevant cardiac massages, and they also had the use of a defibrillator, a very important device that should be present in almost any sporting competition. In fact, it was Dr. Alex Flor Costa, one of the people who treated the Paris-Roubaix winner at the finish line, who said that if this had happened to him while training or in an environment without this equipment, the Bahrain rider would not have been able to have his life saved. Colbrelli even suffered convulsions and did not react to the slaps given to him by the doctors, which means that we were dealing with a serious cardiac arrest, which, curiously, has not been treated correctly by the media. Many who don't talk about cycling all year have taken advantage of the situation to create alarm without any information. Others who are dedicated to cycling prefer to look the other way and simply comment on the competitions, mentioning the fact in passing. And this has happened with the number 6 in the UCI ranking, one of the most important athletes in Italy and in world cycling. So, to counter fake news, let's explain to people why these situations occur, and let's tell the real reality of professional sport. The practice of endurance sports such as cycling is, for multiple cardiologists, potentially risky for our hearts, especially when people push themselves beyond what they can perform, taking certain situations to the limit. This, in a sprint like the one Colbrelli did after coming off an illness, may be one cause. Another could simply be genetics. Or even that during the Italian's professional career he has developed problems related to heart disease. As you can see, there could be multiple causes. And yes, they do occur in presumably healthy top athletes at the peak of their sporting careers. The myth of healthy sport in top competition, and even in certain strata of amateur competitions. But let's leave that to sociologists and physical education teachers in high schools. Bahrain's own cyclist is calm and confident that he can compete again. He can do it, of course, but we doubt that it will be at a level as high as the one that he had before. What is clear to us is that we don't believe that doping nor COVID were the cause of the situation. It may not be what you wanted to hear, and in fact, we like to relate sometimes performance changes to practices at the limit of legality or outside of it. Not with unrelated near-death experiences. We'll continue to keep you informed.